You right, lads? Welcome to episode 2 of the Isocast. We're going to see how long I can keep this streak up. I mean, you can place your bets now. How long do you think we're going to keep this up? Today, we are joined by a very special guest. We're joined by a YouTuber who I've actually been a fan of for a couple of years, secretly.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I have. I've been a fan of you for a while. It's Mr. Tom Luke, everybody.
Wow, that was. I mean, you complimented Owen at the start of his. I was like, I wonder what I'm going to get at the start. But yeah, no, I'll take that.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'll take that. How you doing?
You
right?
got to make I'm decent. You got to make the guest feel comfortable in some sort of way at the start to try to get good answers out of them, I guess.
This is unlike anything I don't stream, I don't go live or anything. Like, this is so different to anything I've ever done. So
mad,
this is kind of, I don't know I don't know how to feel. I don't really know what to say. A lot of what I do is like I have so many takes when I film a video. It's ridiculous. So the fact that this is live and I can't like restart anything I say or I don't know, it's different, but I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Mate, that is so relatable. Like, whenever I go live, the main reason why I go live is to try to practice my ability to just like talk without retaking, because genuinely when I film videos I can say the same sentence like 10 times over and I'm still not quite happy with the way I say it. Is that the same with you?
Yeah,
like I'll keep on saying the same
100%.
thing and it's like in my head it sounds different, but then when I go back outside and I talk to people in my house, they're like, yeah, why did you say the same thing in exactly the same way 10 times over? But in my head it's different. If that makes sense. Yeah. But anyway, I guess first question, it's the question I ask every YouTuber who comes on here. I mean, we've only had one so far, but it's what I will ask every YouTuber who comes on here. What have you been up to in quarantine? How's self-isolation been treating you?
Well, I mean, it hasn't actually been that long because I work part-time. I work part-time in a pub. To keep the pennies rolling, and we were obviously like we didn't shut until we got shut. So I've been pretty much out working, like literally. I think when did I finish? It was about a week and a half ago. I've been in quarantine, but I've still been literally the only time I've been going out is for my one walk a day, like walking the dog and stuff, and then like doing the occasional food shop. I don't know. It's not. It's a weird one. Like I'm quite good at just like accepting things, like, because I know that if we all stay inside or do what we're told, then this will be over. Well, fingers crossed. The quicker we do what we're told, the quicker this will be over. And I'm quite good at like accepting facts like that. So I'm just like, screw it. I'll do what I need to do. It is what it is. And to be fair, I'm like, I don't know. I know you live in London, but I live in a town, so obviously there's less like hustle and bustle. But it's walking along the street. It's quite nice. I quite like the quiet in a weird sadistic way. I quite like the quiet. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I do get what you mean, and I completely rate that of just sort of like having the mindset of it's going to be like the quicker we get inside and just stay inside, the quicker this is going to be over. 100%. I really fuck with that mindset, you know. I feel like I've seen that you go to the gym a fair bit, or at least you used to go to the gym a fair bit. How have home workouts been for you? Like, have they been any different, or have you been doing them?
It just doesn't hit the same. It just doesn't
hit the same.
Just doesn't do it for me. Obviously it is what it is. Like, there's far bigger problems going on in the world. Like, I shouldn't be.
Yeah, obviously.
But I'm so into fitness. And like, so not having the gym is really odd, because it's just such a fixed part of my routine. It has been for like a year or two now. But I'm quite enjoying having to adapt. That's the thing. I'm just sort of taking this time to do things that I don't normally do. And sort of like, now that I'm not working and I've got like time, I'm trying to like spending more time thinking, oh, how can I adapt to this? How can I do this? How can I like, what should I like, think about what I should do with my YouTube and stuff like that next. Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I do really rate that. Would you say that you're like kind of dependent on exercise in a way, in the way that like without exercise you feel like you'd go insane? Because I kind of relate to that in a way from listening to what you just said. How it's
100%. I don't like feeling. I don't like without exercise. I just feel like it just like a bit of exercise at the start of the day. It just makes a huge difference. I know Joe Weller is a huge. He gets behind it like so much as well. Like, I don't know if you still watch Joe Weller's video. I watch every. I
watch him sometimes. Yeah.
I watch every single one. Like, obviously he's been a lot more fitness orientated recently, and he's always said like, do your workout in the morning, sets you up for the whole day. Exercise is so important, and I completely back that. Like, a lot of people. I think someone like Bazinga as well. Like, if you think about the impact that exercise has had on his life, like,
huge, mate. Have you seen like just looking at the transformation that he's been through? I find it really interesting how like he is almost more able to talk, and he's more like socially competent now that he's in better shape. And I think it just comes down to like a place of confidence. Like, since he's feeling like more confident in his body, he's able to feel more confident in everything. And I know it's a cliche, but I definitely feel like a healthy mind is a healthy body. And I think people like Joe Wello and Bazinga and people, they're prime examples of it. Yeah, no, I think exercise is 100% like super important when it comes to keeping like a healthy mind, especially in situations like this, because since we're like not going outside at all, besides getting exercise, going for a walk, going to the shops, whatever, since we're not going outside, like apart from those very basic needs, it's super important that we stay fit, because if we don't, there's the opportunity to become like a really fat shit in this situation. Like, the opportunity is there. So
so I'm sure that's a very extreme way of looking at it. But like you're right. And then people obviously, a lot of people. I'm a big like believer in this. Like, exercise is like, it's confidence as well. So when there's no exercise, you start feeling a little lazier, a little bit. I don't want to say like fatter or thinner or whatever, but like you might look at yourself differently. That's probably the best way of saying it.
Oh, mate, I look. Sorry, wait. What did you say? Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Carry on.
No, I was just saying, like, I look back at the times before I went to the gym and after I went to the gym, and I think of the difference between like how I looked at myself and the way that people looked at me as well. Like, obviously it does come down to the fitness, but it's also like, especially within schools, it's like, it's almost a statement to be like, I go to the gym, because if someone doesn't go to the gym, it's easy for the sort of like, you get what I mean, like the gym lads to sort of like take the piss out of them. Whereas the moment you start going to the gym, you're kind of, it's a statement as well as anything else. But I do agree that it's 100% so much better for your mental health.
Head to the gym, do one single bicep curl, and that's it. Statement made. That's it. That's all you need to do. All you need to do. Do the curl, get the pump, take the photo, done. That's it. That's all you need.
Exactly. All you got to do is put it on your Snapchat story, and then it's done.
Yeah, that's literally it. That's all you need.
All right.
But no,
okay,
I want to. Confidence. Confidence is that's
100%
the most
confidence.
important bit that comes with it.
I want to just ask you about your YouTube channel, because obviously you've been doing YouTube for like quite a long time. Like, I think longer than I've been doing it. How long have you been doing YouTube for?
Good question. So I've done it in phases. Because I've got the worst attention span like ever. Like like one. I think that's probably explains my inconsistency on YouTube, because there'll be one week where I'm like, right, I'm gonna fucking smash it this week. I'm gonna do this, and this, and then the next week I'll be like, oh, I don't really have any good YouTube ideas. Oh, I'm gonna start writing some songs or whatever. Or I'm gonna be like, the next week after I might be like, oh, this week's gym week or whatever. I'm just really bad with attention spans. So that's why I've had so many different. That's why I've phased in and out of YouTube so much. So my first phase was in year 6, right?
Year 6. Wow. Okay.
So my best mate at school, who stayed one of my closest friends, literally all the way through school, and we still are now. He used to make videos on YouTube with his cousins, like these like funny skit videos, literally just like made in his cousin's garden. And at that time, I was like 10 years old. Yeah. I didn't know that anybody could post to YouTube. I thought it was almost like a TV channel. So I remember Matt would come into our classroom and be like, yo, look, I'm on YouTube. And I'd look at it and be like, shit, how did you do that? Like, how? Like, who did you talk to? Like, how did you get that? Little did I know that literally anybody can upload to YouTube just by pressing a button. Right.
Yeah, I think we've all been there. I think we've been, like, everyone's been at a point where they see YouTube as like this, like, high and mighty thing that if you're on YouTube, like, that's sick. When in reality,
anyone
if you have a mobile phone and if you have connection to the internet, there's no reason why you can't blow up on YouTube. It's
it's so free to everyone. Yeah, that's why it's called broadcast yourself. But Matt explained to me literally anyone can do it. So I was like, that's sick. Gonna give it a try. I can't remember I don't have any access to my really early stuff. It wasn't actually that cringy. It was literally just videos of me like, I don't know, videos of me like playing football in the garden. Videos that like I used to mess about with After Effects and stuff quite a bit because I've always been quite into software. So do you remember the Annoying Orange?
Yes, I do remember the Annoying Orange. That was my shit back in the day.
So I used to put myself like onto fruits because like I thought that would be fun and stuff. But no, I just used to. It was just a mess about. Like it was just jokes. Like me and Matt would make like these like funny videos together. These funny like these stupid like news reports and put them online. And then because people were so young back then, people didn't criticize YouTube. Like in year 6, year 7, people don't really criticize YouTube because like it's
because
so,
at that time it's not really seen as a job at that point. Like in the same way now when people do YouTube, they see it as like more of a serious thing. Whereas I think I was kind of vaguely talking about this with Owen in the last episode about how like a lot of the time people start on YouTube with no intention of taking it seriously 100%. Like what they do eventually. Like it'll all start with just making videos,
but I feel like
just to take the piss and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, sorry. So I said I feel like you get locked in though, because when I did it in year 6, literally just for fun, like me and Matt just made these really stupid videos, and then I think year 7 and 8 kind of so my first channel was year 6, and then my second channel I was making videos in year 7 and 8. Again, they just literally just random videos, but like I feel like once you make your first video, you're almost kind of locked in.
I kind of get what you mean. I think it sometimes takes a while. I think maybe it's not necessarily the first video. I think a lot of people, once you've got in a rhythm of making videos, and there are some people who genuinely start watching your videos not just sort of like as a one-off thing because they clicked on it randomly. If there's someone who actually sort of knows who you are and starts to like repeat watching your videos, I guess if you have an audience in that respect,
I agree. 100%
I think at that point you kind of are locked in, and then that's when you do have to kind of put out a statement if you are going to leave.
I know,
but
100%,
I think
100% agree. Yeah.
But to be honest, back in the day, so when you were in like year 6, that means I would have been like a little bit younger. But back in those days, YouTube was nowhere near as serious as it is now. I guess it's because that was
changed.
That was before it was even monetizable, wasn't it?
That was monetization
didn't come until quite a bit later.
So the monetization program was launched in 2007.
13?
2007. 2007
was it?
No, so 2007 was the first partner program, and that was when you had to apply to be a partner, and then YouTube would accept you, and then you'd make money.
Sorry, I was thinking of the Google Plus update. So of course it would be earlier on. Of course it would be earlier on than 2013. Yeah.
From now, from now, you have to like from now you just have to have a certain like certain amount of watch time or whatever. But it's changed drastically. Obviously, I've been through so many phases, but I think back to what we were saying before. So I just make random videos. I think it was year 9. I'd say it was year 9 when I first thought, you know what, this is like something I really want to do. I was watching at the time. The Sidemen was still my favourite YouTubers back in 2014, which is kind of mad actually, because I've seen them literally from the start all the way to what they are now. And like I didn't like back in 2014, like if I didn't even think the Sidemen could get better than they already were. So seeing them
and
now,
they've come on so far from
I don't know how they do it. They just keep making it bigger and bigger, and it's inspiring. Like it's incredible. But I think is. Year 9 was when I think I got that first like, okay, I could do this, because I had about 50 subscribers. So this would have been April of year 9. It was near the time Insomnia was. So April 2015.
Right. Okay.
April 2015. So I was in year 9. April 2015. I had about 50 subscribers, again, just literally making random videos. They made no sense. It was literally just for fun, like literally pure fun.
Yeah.
They got like 10 views. I didn't give a shit. Like it was literally just for fun. But then I went to Insomnia 54, and I met all the Sidemen, Joe Weller, everyone. Biggest fanboy day ever. Absolutely loved it.
It's back in the days when they went to Insomnia. Like you don't really catch them at that many events anymore, do you? Like
you're lucky if you do. But I made like a vlog of the day. And I edited it on the train home from Insomnia, and obviously because my videos weren't exactly high tech, they were literally just videos I filmed on my iPhone and edited on iMovie. I was like, I've already finished my Insomnia vlog by the time I've got home. Let's upload it tonight. Like screw it, let's do it. And I went to Insomnia on the first day. So, and then I woke up the next morning, and the video had 1K views.
That's mad. Well, I mean, it makes sense because, like, if you're the first person to get a video out of a particular event, that's the one that's going to get the views.
Yeah, but
there's always demand, I guess, when it's a big event.
Yeah, no. If you ever go to a big event, you want to vlog it. Make sure you you vlog the first day, put it up that night. Vlog the second day, put it up that night. I think that's the way I saw it. But I put this side note, this podcast has made me realise I'm just not good live. I need practice live so bad.
No, it's alright, you're smashing it, mate.
I really need practice live.
I guess this can be your practice.
We'll call this the start. We'll call this the start. The way I just kind of see this as like a FaceTime call almost. without the face.
A lot of the time, well, I mean, the podcast I did with Owen, by the end of it, I was forgetting that we were even recording it. Like, if it's a good sort of engaging conversation, you forget.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess. But yeah, anyway, keep going.
So this got 1K views in the first night, and I had 50 subscribers. All my videos getting 10 views, 20 views, 30 views. Those 50 subscribers, like 40 of them were just people from school, from like all years, like my family, my cousins, everything. So this video got 1,000 views in literally the first night. I uploaded it at 8 in the evening, and then I used to do a paper round, so I used to get it really early in the morning. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning, and it already had a K views. And I'd gone from 50 subscribers to about 110. Right,
that's
so 110. So I broke, and I was like, shit, this is mad. And then the video kept going up, and I've still got that Insomnia 54 vlog on my channel now. Because it hit a certain amount of views, then it just completely stopped, obviously, because no one was revisiting it. But I think by the end of the week, it had hit like 8K views. Yeah, so by the end of the week, it hit 8K views, and then over the next 2 weeks, all my video views went from like my videos had an average of about 50 views. All of them were well into the well over 100, and then I think I did a 100 subscriber special. That at the end of the week, and then 2 weeks later, I did a video for 300 subscribers, and then by the end of April, I had like 400. So that much.
So it all happened really quick for you. Well, in the beginning stage.
Definitely. But obviously, that was. It's not like a ridiculous game, but like at the start, I was like, holy shit, this is mad. Like people are actually watching it. So then I was like, okay, how far can I take it? And one of my really good mates at the time, Josh, who I'm still good mates with now, he just doesn't really do any of the YouTube stuff anymore. Josh, like, I don't know if you remember when like automated DMs and stuff were like a thing. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah. Well, I mean, that wasn't too. The whole thing with Jake Paul was quite recently, but you're talking like a long time ago. I'm talking
like crowdfire, when people used to follow someone on Twitter, then you get like a notification, you get like a message from them saying, it'd be great if you could check out my YouTube channel. You know, you must.
Oh, you're talking like copy and pasted messages. Yeah.
So there's been an app called Crowdfire that could do that. So Josh showed me how to do that, right? So I would just like, because on Twitter back then you can't do it now. If you do follow more than 10 people at a time on Twitter, you get like bam.
Yeah, because Twitter know that there's something up if you start doing that shit. But in 2015,
like you could literally just like, I could like follow 1,000 people in like a day, and then like maybe I don't know, maybe like 400 would follow back, and then all of them would get an automated DM, and maybe like 50, 60 of them would subscribe to my channel. And I think I hit 1K subscribers at the end of May. So with it from start of April to the start of June, I went from 50 subscribers to 1,000.
So you were that guy. You were that guy that you'd get DMs from, like, hey, check out my channel.
But like the thing is, when you're that small, like I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this auto DM thing forever, but if this could just help me get like a base in the community, help me get some activity on my social medias, then it's going to help. But I took it way too far. Like this is an old Twitter account. It's not the Twitter account I have now, but I was following because I just wasn't unfollowing the accounts that weren't following me. So I was following like 20,000 people.
Fucking hell! Yeah. So people would take one look at your Twitter feed and be like,
exactly.
He's one of them. Yeah,
exactly. But the thing is, that's not. It's not a sustainable way of growing. I think that's what originally led to me like leaving YouTube. So I left YouTube in August 2017. So it was literally just before my GCSE results day. That's when I left, because I've been growing. It's not really organic growth. That's the thing. Like obviously people were checking out my videos. They were going like, oh haha, that was funny. They were subscribing, but then not many of them would actually watch another video. Like, I
think that whole sort of like automated sub thing, I think it works for the boost, like in the kind of early days, because you need some sort of boost, because no one's going to watch a channel that has like 5 subs realistically. You have to get subs somehow, but usually that'll come through like talking to people that you know, getting your family and friends to subscribe. But 100%. I understand the whole thing like boosting you a little bit, but in terms of getting a true audience that actually really care about you, I think the growth is best to come either from a shout out from a bigger YouTuber, although that doesn't always work,
I think collaborating
or
with
finding
because then I feel like the people I think people underestimate the power of collaboration, because people get to know the other person. Because if someone says like, I know I've shouted out people, you've shouted out people, like we do it for our mates because it's helpful, but when you give someone a shout and say, oh, it'd be great if you could subscribe to my mate, he's so close, people will help. But the thing is, I feel like if you're in each other's videos, the viewers get a real sense of what that person's like, and then they can make that decision of, okay, this guy's really funny. I'm gonna subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna check him out some more. Or like, oh, that guy in Tom's video is quite funny, and then they just like leave it at that. I feel like something like Josh Peters. Obviously, a lot of people criticize Josh Peters for
being made off his mates.
Now, admittedly, he knows it. He admits it in interviews. He's had a slightly easier start because of who he knows, and he's well aware of that. But I feel like I can't fault him. Like he puts in the work to make sure he stands out from the rest of them. And he's like his videos. I think his videos have been class recently. But I think
they have been amazing recently. But I think it kind of comes down to him wanting to break out of that box. He's the one who's friends with Casper Lee and Ollie White and all of them.
He just wants to be Josh
I don't know
Peters
what the fuck Ollie White's doing now.
Probably making some kind of merchandise somewhere.
Probably, yeah. I think Josh Peters made the conscious decision to break out of that. I'm just mates with other big YouTubers. I think I fully respect him because he's made the effort to kind of stand out and be like, I am Josh Peters. I'm not just someone who's friends with all of them. So, honestly, fair play to him. Yes. I was just going to ask you, like, talking about Josh Peters and someone who sort of originally made content that was kind of seen as, like, not that great and sort of just the same as everyone else, to breaking out of that box and making something that's really fucking good.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about your sort of switch up in content because I've seen some of your older videos. They weren't terrible, obviously, but they were very much sort of like the kind of relatable average British YouTuber, the kind of the royalty-free music in the background, that type of guy.
Yes.
I've seen there's been a huge change between then and now. Do you think that those older videos are a dying art? Do you think that people can't grow off them anymore, or do you think you just changed because you wanted to?
That's become very much. I feel like that's become very much second channel content now. So someone like, do you watch George Mason?
Yes.
Yeah, so George Mason makes insane videos on his main channel, and I'm like, I don't know if you've met him before, but like I know I've met him like quite a few times. I got
yeah, mate, he was there when I was getting my
he filmed it, didn't he? Yeah. No, but
I've seen him at a fair few events.
I've spoken to him I've spoken to him at like loads of events and stuff. He's a really, really nice guy. But, like his videos are sick, but then I feel like all his challenge videos and all these like really elaborate like videos he makes, I don't feel like you don't get to know him that well. So that's what he's just created his second channel now, so that you can get to know him better, and then he does more of that kind of content on his second channel. I think it's become, all that stuff's become second channel content. Like if you watch I'm trying to think of a really good example, like a lot, like if KSI maybe, like KSI puts a lot of the content he puts on his second channel is very basic, it's very simple,
and it's very repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again.
But we watch it because
we watch it because we like him. We watch it because we already know who he is, and he's already made a name for himself through doing some mad shit.
See, I was wondering. See, I was just thinking, how am I going to go back to the original point I made, because I was waffling like hell. But I've just realised now, so he's already grown, so he can do those types of videos. Where I feel like those types of videos won't make you grow enough, because for people to want to watch them, they want to be a fan of you initially, if you get what I'm saying.
Yep. The thing that I've always said is you've got to follow trends to a point, but then once you've got an audience that have kind of found you and truly liked you from following these trends, that's when you can break out, do your own stuff, and maybe even start your own trends. And maybe even become the person that other people look up to. Then they follow you, and it's just the cycle that continues of people going up to the top, making a trend, people behind them following them up through their trends, them getting to the top, making their trends. It's just kind of the natural cycle of YouTube at this point.
I agree.
I think that is the sort of blueprint to getting big on YouTube now.
No,
although then again, I feel like the other way of getting big on YouTube, which is something else I wanted to ask you about, I feel like now YouTube isn't necessarily even the platform that you want to get big on. It's TikTok. So I wanted to ask you, I've seen that you've switched to TikTok a bit recently.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's because it's a good way to get big, or do you think that you've switched to TikTok just because you want to make the content on there and it's fun?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you're a big TikToker, fair play to you. Personally, I don't want to be known as a TikToker. No. It's not because I'm all big-headed, like, oh, YouTube's better and all that sort of stuff. I think TikTok is fantastic. I just don't want to be branded as just a TikTok, because there's like having 1 million followers on TikTok like is insane. Like you made good TikTok content. People,
and it's quite profitable as well. If you get like brand deals and stuff on TikTok, it can be very profitable.
You've made all this. You built this big audience. You worked hard. People follow you and stuff. But I'd like where where else can you take? Because people don't know you that well. The reason I've switched is because, well, for a start, a lot of my friends make TikToks. So I was like, okay, I'll get the app, I'll download it, and then I can just sort of keep up. I can follow my favourite YouTubers on TikTok and stuff like that. But then they're just so quick and easy. It's so quick and easy to make a funny video, and it just bangs. Like literally, it gives you like that little rush. I remember I think Owen said something about this as well, and I totally agree with it. Like I made that. I'll just make a funny video that genuinely takes me about 5 minutes to make, and it will just bang like a K views on TikTok in like a few minutes. And I'll just be like, oh, sick! Like this is sick. And some of them will actually go over to my channel and subscribe as well. So,
100%. I think the randomness of TikTok is the thing that attracts a lot of people because since everyone has an equal chance of going viral, no matter how few followers you have, you can bang a video, put the right hashtags on it, and it will get thousands of views. Yeah. It's the randomness of it that attracts people because they know that there's a chance that they can go viral even without a following.
Yeah, some people, it's mad. So my one of my best mates who I went to school with, Ollie, still one of my best mates now. He doesn't do. He's not in this like he used to have a channel back in the day, but like he wouldn't call himself like a YouTuber. He wouldn't say he's in this world like at all. Maybe he will be in the future, but he's not in this like YouTube world. He literally has a TikTok just for fun. Like he made one TikTok, literally just one TikTok just for a laugh, and it's got like 200-300k views, and and loads like I think nearly 1,000 people have just followed him just from that, and he literally just made a TikTok for fun. Like anything can bang. There's people that have never touched a camera or thought about YouTube in their life that probably have more TikTok views than me, you, and Owen combined just from one video.
Literally, it's crazy how random it is. But I think it comes down to the fact that like on YouTube, in order to watch someone's video, unless it just gets recommended to you randomly, which is getting like rarer and rarer, unless it just gets recommended to you completely randomly without any effort behind it, you have to kind of go out of your way to search up a YouTube video. Whereas with TikTok, you'll be scrolling through the For You page. You didn't necessarily want it to come up. You didn't go out of your way to look for it, but it's just given to you, and then you might end up thinking that it's funny. And since it's just there on the screen, you might as well just watch it.
No. What you're saying is absolutely correct. I think it's I like TikTok because it's funny, it's easy to do, and I guess it's something. If people that watch my channel follow me on TikTok, I guess it's something that it's something that keeps them occupied, because obviously making high quality videos and stuff that takes a while, and if you just do YouTube, there is that little bit of silence in between, which is why you keep active on your other social medias to keep your audience engaged, let them know that you're still there and you're not going anywhere. And I think it's just been TikTok's just been a really good tool, but I don't think it's like the future. I don't think it can't top YouTube. It just. I
don't think it can top YouTube, and I've got quite a few reasons why I think it can't top YouTube. I think it's brilliant, like what you said. It's brilliant for activity. It's brilliant just to show that like you're still online, you're still present, you're still following trends. But
absolutely,
the thing that I always say is there's no way that a TikToker can have an audience that knows them as well as a YouTuber's audience.
Yes.
The audience cannot know enough about them to fully be able to be attached to them. Like, this is why I almost laughed at the idea of Talkfest being a thing. Like, I remember telling you about Talkfest.
Gosh.
This is why I laugh, because with YouTube, I can understand the incentive behind wanting to meet some of your favourite YouTubers, because you feel like you know them as a person, you want to be able to chat to them. I don't really see what the incentive can be behind wanting to meet a TikToker, because you don't know anything about them really, other than kind of their sense of humour. Like,
I don't know how much you saw at VidCon, because there's a couple of TikTokers that I feel like have loads of fans, but that's also because they do Instagram lives, they're active on other things, so their audience is somewhat like knows them somewhat a little bit better. But
I guess
I think, what is it? I remember going to VidCon. You know, what's Morgs' girlfriend called?
Oh, what, his current girlfriend?
Yeah,
Tamsin, I think. Yeah.
I saw Tamsin at VidCon. She's got over 2 million followers on TikTok, and she was literally just like, she was stood outside the hall at VidCon just playing on her phone, and no one was going up to her.
I think it's because you can follow someone on TikTok without really having like any incentive of like keeping up with them and actually following what they're doing. Like, you can just whack follow on TikTok, see a couple of their videos, but if you saw them in person, you might not even recognise them, because just the sea of TikTokers, and plus everyone on TikTok looks the same, so there's not really that much. There's not really that much that like distinguishes each TikToker.
They've all got that certain look about them. She wasn't, but 2 million followers, and like I would have expected to get swarmed, but then like someone like Spencer, Spencer's got 200k on his YouTube, mate. He gets fucking swarmed at events, doesn't
he gets mobbed because people like him. Like, people fully, people know they really kind of like feel like they link with him because of his YouTube channel.
Mate,
and
those
because
social climbers bang meetups. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, that's true. To be fair, like every time it's summer in the city, like every single summer in the city, Kami always has the biggest crowd around him, which I think is absolutely mental. But like, people like him. There's a market for him, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I know. I'm guessing those people aren't really fans of Jackmate either.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I don't think Jackmate really gets as big crowds as Sitsi as Kami does, which I find hilarious. But it's I think it kind of links into the kind of like new YouTube audience of like younger people who just empathise with people like Kami more. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Spencer. I really like some people in their group. I've met Kami a couple of times in the past. And every time I've met him, he's a decent guy. Like, to be fair, I haven't had a conversation with him for like years. Like, the last time I saw him was maybe like 2017. But like every time I met him before that, like he seems nice. He seems pretty funny when you talk to him like face to face. And like Spencer's a good guy, and like I trust his like judgment of character, and obviously he lives with him and stuff. So like he can't be like super horrible. I think it's just the way he. I don't like the way he portrays himself online. Like it's that sort of attitude he has online. Like that sort of.
He has a very much sort of like, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I'm just going to be edgy for the sake of it mindset. Yeah.
It's like okay, cool. That's cool. Like, you don't care what people say.
Cool. You bathed in bleach. Cool. Good one. That's really edgy, mate.
You don't care what people. Yeah, you don't care what people think. Good for you. But like all this, like, I just don't care, all that stuff. It's just, I don't find it entertaining. Personally, I don't find it entertaining.
I don't find him entertaining either.
It's not for me.
I think he puts such a fine point on not caring what people think that I think he does actually care what people think quite a lot, because he puts such a fine point on not caring.
I don't know about that. But the thing is, I think the reason he hasn't been, he has never been cancelled and will never be cancelled is because he literally does not give a shit.
I think it's because he just keeps on going. I think he does give a shit, but I just think he has the self-awareness to be like, I'm going to pretend I don't, and I'm just going to keep on churning out this content, I think.
Yeah, but if you cannot attack, like, you can't attack someone's character if they truly do not care. Like True Geordie, like he doesn't like when all that stuff with the dirty DMs
the poo DMs,
no one everyone was like, oh, you're a freak, you get cancelled. True Geordie, he doesn't give a shit. He just carries on. It's the people that carry on, because as soon as Mike, I don't know if you've watched Geordie's podcast with Mike.
With Logan, Jake and Mike,
Now that podcast is insane, but Jake just ruins it. I swear Jake's definitely on some other drugs.
Jake is an idiot, mate. Like,
he's definitely on drugs.
People who kind of put Logan and Jake Paul in the same box really piss me off at this point, because they're nothing like each other. Like, mentally, they are absolutely nothing like each other, and that's why I think that Jake has a better chance to beat Logan than Logan did. Sorry, Jake has a better chance to beat JJ than Logan does. We can get onto that later, but like, I just wanted to ask you, right, talking about these sort of like big YouTubers that you've had contact with. I know that you did used to be under management, didn't you? Which I don't know how many people know that about you.
It wasn't quite under management. So there was So there's a guy that me, Matt Stokes, everyone, we're all really good mates with still. He's called Zach, and he used to. Right. It wasn't managed. So there was a management scheme, but I wasn't under management. I was partnered with the network, but because I was so friendly with the head of it, the manager, it almost kind of felt like management when it wasn't legally. It wasn't management, but we were so like me, Matt, and everyone were so tight with this network that it almost felt like it was. So. We were Scale Lab UK. Unfortunately, Zach doesn't run Scale Lab UK anymore.
I was going to say, I heard it folded. Like, I don't know if you can get onto like what happened there. But,
it wasn't. I personally don't know. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it folded. I think Zach's really young. Like, Zach's only a couple of years older than me, and like he enjoyed his venture. But I think a lot of the big YouTubers moved on to other places. And I think Zach works in real estate now, and he's got a super successful real estate business. I'm pretty sure it's real estate. It's property. It's definitely property. But he's doing insane. Like, I think it's like a 6-figure business. So he's absolutely killing it. I think he just had to move on from it because
that is crazy, mate. He could be running YouTube with that sort of mindset to get to the top. He could be running YouTube events right now.
Yeah, 100%. Zach makes shit happen. Like he's insane. He's one of the best people I've ever met. But It wasn't.
Then
so
again, like with oh sorry, no, keep
no.
Going,
Oh no, I was literally just going to say I was partnered with the network, as was some of the earliest partners with the network were Spencer and Will and E as well. Will and E partnered.
Oh, for real?
Will and E was partnered when he had 10k subs, and he came to visit. So we had our scale lab. We had the booth like for the network at Summer in the City 2016, and like Will and E was like chilling in the booth and everything and stuff. And he wasn't Will and E like he is now. Like he was chilling with us and everything. He's a lovely bloke. He is.
Do you think
he's tall? He's mega.
Yeah, I've seen him in person. He's what, like 6'3", like
6'3". Yeah, he's lovely, absolutely lovely. And it's just a shame because I just remember he just suddenly like blew up, and he was still with our network even when he had like 500k. I think it's when he moved to London and started getting more and more contacts. He was offered like, because he was only partnered with the network, he wasn't managed, and I think he got offered like proper management. And obviously, if he wants to, for him to further his YouTube career, he had to move on. But like, he was still very invested in our network, and like, even when he had like 500k, he was still part of it, which is ridiculous.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily. I've heard a lot of people say they reckon Will's sort of like kind of sold out as he's got bigger, because obviously he's now friends with the Sidemen, which is something that people would think is mental, like back in the day.
Oh yes, ridiculous.
I think it's. I don't know what my opinion is on him, because I've heard a lot of people say that he's completely different on camera as he is off camera, but is that really necessarily a bad thing? Is there really like a problem with being completely different off camera to on camera? Because at the end of the day, it's a job. It's a kind of, it's a persona to keep up.
I mean, the last time I met him in person was 2016. And like he had his come up really quickly. So when he was at Summer in the City that year, he'd gone from like 20k subs to like 200k in literally like a couple of weeks. Like, he was absolutely smashing it. People were coming up to him at Sitsi asking for photos and everything, but he was still like, he seems like proper calm. And I obviously, this is something we can also talk about later, obviously ringside at the first KSI fight,
yes,
that was 2018, and I went with Charlie. Do you know Charlie Woodward?
I've heard the name. I don't really know him.
He's massively into the photography game. He's done like photography for JJ and everything, and he's really good friends with I think it's Con. Yeah, he's really good mates with Con. So I went to the event with Charlie because Charlie got given the ringside tickets by JJ to say as like a thank you, because he'd done like some sick work for him. So JJ hooked him up, and then like, I'm very lucky. Like, he invited me to come with him. And like, I can't literally still to this day I thank him for it, because fucking hell, that was an insane night.
That is mental. I saw the videos on your Instagram story. You were literally right ringside at KSI Vlog the first time.
It's another. I guess mate, it's shall we graveyard? Honestly, like the fact that I had to watch the second fight from my room on my laptop.
Yeah, and you were watching the first one right next to the ring. Yeah, it's like it's levels. How was it? So like, did that sort of just come about like randomly? Did you like kind of plan it out all along? Were you just like suddenly invited? Like what happened there?
So it was that fight was August the 25th, and I found out that we were going
August 25th.
Found out that we were going on. I found out that we were going on August the 10th. I found out we were going. So
nice. Okay.
So Charlie was on set for the On Point music video. By the way, before I carry on with this point, I'm going to quickly finish the last part. I was saying what I was saying about the fight. I said I met Will and E there as well, and he was also really nice there. So I
nice.
You know, there we go. That finishes the last point.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
so Charlie was on set for the On Point video, which was that's probably one of the best music videos I've ever seen. Like, it's so
it
good.
was insane. Yeah.
And he did some sick photography for JJ, and JJ used it on his Instagram and stuff, tagged Charlie, and it gave Charlie like such a good come up on his Instagram, and he's got a sick reputation now. And he's done all sorts of like cool gigs and everything. Charlie, mate, he works like that Saturday. So the fight was on Saturday the 25th. Okay. Charlie lives in Reading. Okay, which is right. So yeah, near you, and obviously this fight was in Manchester.
Fairly near me, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which way round it was, but I think on Friday, on Friday he did photography at Leeds Festival for the whole day, for the whole day, and then the next day he came all the way to Manchester for the fight, and then after the fight, he got up at 6 a.m. the next morning, went all the way down to Reading to do photography at Reading Festival.
Wow,
mate,
that's
mental. He's a machine. Like when we went to the fight,
I remember it was a busy weekend because I was there at the fight as well.
Yes.
Like, I was just a fan. Like at that point, I didn't really have as many like links with YouTube as I do now.
Yeah.
I was up like right up at the top of the arena, but yeah, I was there. I remember it being a very busy weekend because obviously it was the end. It was like the last weekend of August, which is pretty much always when it's Reading and Leeds. It was bank holiday weekend. Obviously, Reading and Leeds probably won't be happening this year, unfortunately.
Don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about that.
it's a real shame. Yeah, I was hoping to get to Reading, but were you going Reading or Leeds?
I hadn't planned either, but I was going to Park Life, which got cancelled. So I was going to see JJ.
Yeah, no. That would have been sick, yeah. Damn. But I remember it being a very busy weekend because it was Insomnia. That bank holiday weekend is usually Insomnia. I think it's always Insomnia actually in August. And then it was also Reading and Leeds. It was also the fight. I remember people were all over the gaff on that weekend. So credit to people who like took the fight over those days. But in my opinion, the fight was the priority because that I don't think it's ever coming back to the UK. I think if it ever even happens again at all in terms of like the YouTube boxing thing.
It's more profitable elsewhere, but like. I think the most important part from that weekend is like big up to Charlie because like Charlie could have taken anybody to the ringside and he took me and like that's mate I could never like he could do the worst thing to me ever and I'd still forgive him and you'd still I owe that kid so much. I'll tell you a funny story about story about Charlie. So
right
the other day so it was when I was with my girlfriend. She followed him on Instagram, and he followed her back, and he thought she was single, because he didn't look at her feed and realize I was on it. So he sent and he saw that she was followed by me. So he sent a thing to our group chat. It's got like me, Charlie, Matt, Stokes, everyone. He sent a thing to our group chat. And was like. Who's this girl? I mean, he was literally about to slide into her DMs. And I just went, that's my.
Oh my! I just went,
that's my girlfriend.
That is.
And then we had such a laugh about it. Like we were all like crying and like it was so funny. But it was like genuinely, he just hadn't looked through. But it was so funny, and like we were having a proper laugh.
That's fucking.
I'm sure
class.
He won't mind me saying it on here because it was so funny. That was like a few weeks ago now. But can't thank him enough for that. But what was kind of mad about that night is that. So we had to wear suits for a start. There's a dress code. And we like walked in and like Charlie met me at the entrance. So we were with Matt Stokes and Jacob and people and they all had normal tickets. They were sitting in the audience. They went in. I waited outside for Charlie. Charlie came in and Charlie gave me these ringside passes. And we just like, it's mad. You just walk straight through everywhere. Like it's
just like in amongst all these big YouTubers as well. I can imagine it would be like so surreal. And obviously, like
I think it's weird. So Anisong Gibb talks about this in his podcast with Jackmate, and I totally agree. The Americans, like the Logan Paul's team and everyone, just like they just walk straight through. They just like expect themselves. They just like they're like we're royalty here. We expect ourselves just to walk through like wherever we want. Whereas like. We all had like all the UK lot have like ringside and stuff. We're like we're all going like the normal way, and they're like, no, cut through here. But like there's something weird about that team because obviously I was right in the like the ringside, and I was on JJ's side. But then like Logan's side, I really got to see what the Americans are like because they are different. They're so cringe, man.
They are very cringy.
They're so cringe, and like when oh my god, I can't believe I saw with my own eyes, genuinely about 20 meters in front of me when JJ like taps Logan in the head after the bell rings and Jake runs in.
Yeah. And
what
Jake
the
runs
hell
in
was
the
he
ring.
doing?
Yeah.
Genuinely, like the scream, the laughing from the YouTube side of the audience was ridiculous. Like, everyone was like, genuinely, what are you doing? Like, what the hell are you doing?
I remember when that happened. I didn't even clock it was him at first. I thought like I saw the security come in and like remove him, which they hardly even removed him. He sort of just like jumped up, stared at JJ, then turned around and walked away.
He basically removed himself.
He removed himself. Yeah,
mate. I've always said this, but like. Logan has his flaws. I always wanted JJ to knock his face in, but like he's a sick YouTuber. Logan is insane at making content, but Jake is such a fucking idiot. He's just such an idiot. I think the difference between Jake and Logan is huge. Like it's mental that they're even from the same parents.
Because like Logan is nothing like Jake. Like Logan's very sort of like controlled. He's actually quite clever. Like I think he let the fame get the better of him a lot in his younger years, but I think now he's actually quite intelligent.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing. This whole sort of like over the top goofy American kid, it's a persona. Jake has none of that self-awareness. Jake doesn't have that barrier of persona. It's just him, and he's an idiot.
Everyone I've ever heard that's had experience with him just say he's just a pain in the ass. But
he's
the thing is,
a really nasty piece of work.
It's who he's surrounded with. Like everyone's just licking his arse constantly. It's like he just lives how he wants. Where I feel like, I mean, I'd like to think. I mean, he's 23.
He should know better by now. I don't think he can use age as an excuse anymore.
Everyone's young and silly once, but he just hasn't grown out of that. But obviously that podcast that Jackmate did with Stuart, the promoter for the fights and stuff, talking about where he met Jake and Logan.
How he wanted umbrellas on the ring walk or something.
And he was talking about what they're like as people. I've heard other people that have spoke to Stuart and stuff. They just say whenever that sort of thing happens, when Jake's like, I want this, apparently Logan always steps in and he's always like, yo, bro, chill, and stuff like that. And he just seems like, I think he's very privileged. He thinks that I'm Jake Paul, therefore things go my way. I don't know if you, I don't know if have you watched Gibbs' podcast with Jack?
Yes,
so when Gibbs Gibb got told that Jake was upstairs.
He got told that it was 5 minutes or he's leaving or something
everything has to be on, in a marriage, everything has to be on his terms. It's so
also, why was that on his terms? Because that's a fight between both of them. That's a fight between Gibb and Jake. Why is it on his terms? I understand the concept of A-side, but how is it only on his terms?
When him and KSI had that little that little back and forth in the ring, and then Jake was like, "Oh, I'm A-side."
When he said he was the A-side, shut up.
I can't watch. I mean, I hate. I don't know him personally. I don't like using the word hate because it's such a strong video. But I cannot watch a Jake Paul video without all I'm thinking about for the whole video is I hate him. I fucking hate him so much.
There is something about his persona there's something about his persona that is really unpleasant. And genuinely, I know that this is a little bit of a meme, but I think it comes down to the fact that he is a bit of a sociopath. Yeah. I think he just doesn't feel it. And in terms of empathy for other people and understanding other people's perspectives, he does not feel it. And genuinely, I know, obviously that does much more bad than it does good, but
100%.
Do you remember the London press conference of the first fight when Logan just jacked it in and walked off?
Jake's
never felt it because Jake's just on stage being like, "Hey, boo, if Deji's a bitch," all of this. Logan felt the pressure from the crowd, which shows that he does sort of feel something. Jake feels nothing.
I think that's why. I think ultimately that helped against Gibb because Gibb,
he's very cold and calculating, and that comes to the way he is in the ring and just out the ring in general. He's a weird guy.
I've watched Gibb fight. I've watched Gibb fight live, obviously amateur level, and I think the reason people are always I can't believe Gibb lost all this, but looking back on it, I was actually bored yesterday and I was just watching loads of old YouTube fights and stuff because I'm massively into boxing, so. I was watching.
I was going to ask you about that actually because I know that you potentially have a fight coming up. I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
I was It's not Morgs. It's not Morgs, by the way.
It should be Morgs. If you're watching, mate, fight Tom.
He's actually such a pussy. Anyway, forget I said that. So I was watching old fights yesterday. I was watching the Gibb fight, and
Gibb v Swingler. Or Gibb
I watched
Jake?
Both actually, and Gibb is Gibb is a showman. So with Jay Swingler, he's putting his arms up come on then and stuff, and then he beats the shit out of him. But with Jake, I think what a lot of people struggle with, and I think Logan felt this, and Gibb felt this, is professional is just a whole different level. The professional league is, and I think I've heard a lot of I've only ever done stuff with 14-ounce gloves and stuff, and they've got a lot of but 10-ounce gloves, mate. They look like they hurt. And they look like they.
I can imagine because,
I think the problem with Gibb was, I think the reason he lost, because I don't know if you've rewatched the fight, but the first minute is class.
Oh mate, the first minute Gibb was pressuring him. I remember, mate, watching it from home. I remember thinking yes, all right, Gibb's doing the right thing. He's pressuring him.
He's docking. If Gibb keeps going like this, he's docking. He's being annoying. He literally, Jake is throwing all these Jake is throwing, because Jake is a good puncher. He's throwing these sick jabs, and Gibb's docking every single one. I'm like, this is class, because Jake has the height and the reach, and I feel like he uses that very, very well. And Gibb was sort of ducking, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Gibbs being annoying. He's making Jake throw these ridiculous quick punches. He's tiring him out. Fantastic move. But I think that when that first hook connected, which dropped him the first time, a drop like that can your morale just goes out the window. But what's so annoying is it's literally like 10 seconds away from the bell when it got called off.
Was it actually?
Yeah, no.
I thought it was like I thought it was a little bit.
No, it was like 2 minutes. 2 minutes 40 seconds.
I thought that was like a minute left.
40 seconds in, it got called off, or 2 minutes.
Was
30.
it? So 20 seconds.
Either way, it was so like I just feel like if he just made it to the bell,
and then he could have come out.
If he just made it to the bell, he could have sat on the side. Vidal and Leon could have been like, right, let's talk about this. They could have boosted his morale, got him like sprayed up with water, and then he would have gone in like, right, let's do this. Let's not let that happen again. But the thing is, when he rocked him the first punch, then the second one, and then like he was just like all over the place. I feel like Jake's, as much as we hate him, his boxing IQ is unreal. Like,
I think Bazinga was talking about this on Jack Mate's podcast, the way that Jake's boxing IQ is just naturally better than Logan's, in the way that it took Logan 4 rounds to catch JJ when he got him with that amazing uppercut. Jake just sort of like became accustomed to Gibb's style in the first minute. Like that first minute when Gibb was pressuring him, that was just the minute that Jake needed to sort of figure out how Gibb fights, sort him out and get the job done in a round.
Logan said in his video, he was like, oh, when in the first round when JJ threw that big overhand, I realised not much had changed with his boxing training. I'm like, well, if you know how he fights, why didn't you capitalise?
Just fucking go in then.
Capitalise on it and do what you were actually taught to do. But I think I agree with what Bazinga said about Jake. Sugar Shane Mosley is different gravy. Like
he's more serious.
Sugar Shane Mosley will teach you what you need to know. And as like what Bazinga said is true as well. And I knew this beforehand, but like Sugar Shane Mosley is one of the only people to land flush on Mayweather. And that says something. That speaks to levels, that does.
It says something, but I also think it's down to the fact that, like, as a personality, Shane Mosley is so much more down to earth than Shannon Briggs is. Like, Shannon Briggs, okay, he did well back in his pro career, but now I don't know if he's like a very sort of grounded person to have in your corner now. Yeah. Like when you're getting beaten up in a boxing ring in front of thousands of people, you need to come down and sit down in your corner. And you need someone to sort of be like the kind of word of wisdom in your ear and just sort of like calm you down. I can't imagine getting beaten up by JJ, coming and sitting down in the corner and him just being like, go champ, go champ, go champ. I can't imagine that being very helpful. But I can't imagine that being very helpful. But a sort of more of a Vidal Riley just coming down being like, okay, it's cool, just do this, come on, this. Like I imagine that
Vidal
so
seems
much more
like
helpful.
Like the safest guy going. Like he seems so calm. Yeah. But I think. Yeah, it is ultimately who's in your corner. So what I originally thought about that fight is Jake is literally surrounded by yes men. His camp is all yes men. Jake fought Deji, and he was like, in all fairness, that first fight, Jake and Logan hadn't had that much training. And I feel like Jake was he was all right, but like I think the reason he didn't beat Deji as much as he thought he was going to do is because Deji actually isn't that bad. Like Deji isn't that bad, but the thing is, Jake clearly, you can't fault him. He clearly has a passion for the sport, and he puts time into it. And because he's put time into it, his skills have tenfolded, and they've become like ridiculously good. And I think he's putting so much time into boxing because he knows this is the only thing that's actually going to save his like career. Because like if JJ doesn't take this fight, what does he have? Like genuinely, what does he have?
What does he have? He has that weird like business thing where you can pay $20 for him to make you rich.
That's what gave me inspiration. Thing. You know my last video in the 10k 10 days to 10k bit. That's where I got inspiration from Jake's thing for that.
I don't know. I think Jake 100% needs to fight more than JJ, and that's why I think it is actually quite a scary prospect for JJ fighting Jake, because JJ has if you think of it like this, like JJ right now has all of the Infinity Stones. JJ is on top. JJ can just keep on going the way he is now, and he's just got so much of a bigger pool than Jake does. Back when he first called them out, it was the other way around. It was JJ was doing well. He fought Joe Weller. He had music coming out. JJ was doing well. But the pools were up. They were number one at that time. The pools were doing sick. It's literally the roles have reversed, and I think Jake now is even lower down than JJ was when he first called him out. Yeah. So it's kind of giving Jake the opportunity to fight JJ and potentially beating him, because the thing I was talking about Jake being very cold and calculated. Let's say if the fight was in the UK, the home advantage for JJ wouldn't do shit to Jake. Jake doesn't feel it.
I feel like JJ will be able to actually box better because like I've always thought this from the start. I remember watching the first fight as well. But Logan is huge. Like he's a massive guy.
Logan's a big dog. Yeah.
And I feel like you can't use proper boxing technique on a guy that's that much bigger than you, because like
well that's the reason why JJ was throwing those wild overhands, because that was how he reached him.
The first 2 rounds of the first fight when JJ was really, really struggling, is because he was going for like the proper boxing technique, and so was Logan. But Logan's got that. Logan could just stand there and poke him because he's so tall and he's so big. And I feel like to get, I mean, like I say, Andy Ruiz and when he beat Joshua, Andy Ruiz, his style was a little bit less orthodox, but it dropped Joshua, who.
Joshua what you need to beat Anthony
much
Joshua.
Taller man, and Joshua could stand there and poke him. He's a short, fat man. He could poke him for ages, but Ruiz was just coming in with these mental shots, and that's what dropped him. And I feel like boxing is also in the heart as well. Like you can have the best technique in the world, but if you're not willing to go to war and go through absolute hell, you're not getting anything from it. That's how I see it.
That in my opinion is why Joshua lost to Ruiz in the first place, because let's be fair, he didn't want to fight him. All he was thinking about at that point was Wilder or Fury. He did not want to fight Ruiz. He had no interest in him. So he went in there thinking he was just going to jab him for a bit, knock him out, because at the point that AJ dropped him, 99%, like Eddie Hearn was talking about this in the podcast with True Geordie, 99% of fighters, I love him as well, I think he's class, 99% of fighters who get dropped by Anthony Joshua, they get back up again, they're all dazed, they just back into the corner and they let AJ win, right? At that point, they're a beaten man at the point that AJ's knocked him down. Ruiz, he doesn't, mate, he's not affected. He gets back up and he swings for the fences in a way that hardly anyone else would.
He's good.
And I think that was an example of Hart winning a fight. I think
JJ's Hart won the fight in the end, because Logan is a good boxer. He's a good athlete. He's a big guy. He could do some serious damage. But if your heart's not full, like KSI wants it. Like you can tell like he really wants it. Whereas Logan, I wouldn't say Logan was half-arsed about it, but he just wasn't. He was nowhere near as arsed about it.
I think Logan's whole persona of like first round decapitation, I might kill this man, all of this, it's a show, and I think he definitely came with a persona. Whereas the moment you're actually in the ring in a professional boxing match, all of that talking's irrelevant. I like what you said. It is a completely different ball game to amateur, which leads me on to ask you the final question. I knew this was coming. You might have a fight coming up, mightn't you?
So. I've wanted to do this for a while, and like there's a load of there's loads of amateur events you can do for charity. So right now I'm looking into doing one in Manchester later this year. It's sponsored by it's partnered with Cancer Research UK, either Cancer Research UK or Teenage Cancer Trust. So it's all very much friendly. It's all very much amateur, but like obviously,
you want to get in there.
You start the camp, you raise all this money for charity, and hopefully get my first dub. But I'm still trying to sort things at the moment. Obviously, like
so if this does happen, this is your amateur debut, is it? You haven't fought before, have you?
Well, no. Technically, it is my. Technically, it would be my debut.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, when's it meant to be? Because if it's too soon, it might not happen because of Corona.
Oh no, much later this year. We're talking like November, December, like.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because there's a lot of these like charity boxing events happen quite often, and there's like a load of them. I think there's one that happens in London. There's one in Birmingham, Brighton, all sorts. There's this big boxing company called UWCB, Ultimate White Collar Boxing, because it's amateur, it's white collar. Head guards, mouth like gum shields, 14-ounce gloves. It's all.
Even pros wear gum shields, don't they?
Well, yeah, of course. If you don't wear a gum shield, mate, it's so
no, mate, you're done.
You're an animal. Yeah. But no, so I've wanted to get in there for a while. But after I've done that, it has to be a YouTuber next. After that, it has to be a YouTuber. I am willing to like, because you can book out gyms, and you can book referees. I'm willing to go to that length with another YouTuber to make a sick video. I am willing to do that. I think
it would be sick.
I am so willing to do that. If someone steps forward and says, like, "Fuck it, let's do it, let's go."
I think especially like, so this whole like charity boxing thing, your opponent isn't going to be another YouTuber, is it? It's just going to be like a random person.
No, and then afterwards we'll shake hands, we'll hug it off.
Yeah.
We'll be like,
of course, there's no bad blood. Yeah,
no. We'll be like,
what I mean is like, you could definitely use your YouTube audience to almost have an edge if you like promote this fight as if you're up against another YouTuber, because your fans obviously they won't know who this guy is. But if you sort of build it up as if I'm going to go fight and they all get behind you, you could easily use that as like a big mental edge. That's something that this opponent probably won't have.
Well, it's because I'll send you a couple of links to them later. But there's the UWCB. They've got a YouTube channel as well, and 6 weeks, I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks after the event, every fight is filmed. So I'll be able to watch it back about a month and a half afterwards. So I can
can do a like reacting to my first fight video.
And then after that, that's like a very, I wouldn't say it's beginner, but it's, you don't have to be to enter into these competitions. You don't have to be stupidly good, because there's a big 8-week camp which is designed to get you to that like amateur.
So that kind of level. Like okay standards.
Yeah. But then after that, obviously there's bigger competitions you can go to in more amateur league, and I think that's, I don't know. I just want to try new things, and if I enjoy it, I mean, I enjoy doing like boxing circuits and stuff like at the gym and whatnot. It's good mentally, and it's also like it's insane cardio as well.
100%. Yeah. These like top level boxers, the amount of cardio they have to be able to go for over half an hour. Like literally, like a 12-round fight, 36 minutes of just hitting and getting hit. Like, imagine going 12 rounds though, like getting hit without a head guard. It's insane. Like, I think people underestimate how much cardio boxing takes. Well, because they don't see it as running. They see it as just sort of like not moving that much in a ring, but it's like the amount of cardio that it takes is ridiculous. Like, I've got a punch bag, and I punch the shit out of it sometimes, but it's like I'll time how long I can punch for it, and it is so tiring, isn't it? And that's me not even getting hit. Like, it must be so much more tiring when you're taking shots.
Yeah, it is. Like, it is. Yeah, it's proper tiring. But like this charity fight will be, this will be 4 2-minute. No, I'm trying to think. I think they're only 2-minute rounds.
4 2 minutes sounds about right.
Yeah, a bit
maybe 3 2 minutes.
I think it's either 3 or 4 2 minutes. It's either 3 or 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not as much cardio, but like 2 minutes, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of punches you need to get in 2 minutes. So, but like I wouldn't say my cardio is fantastic. Like I'm not really light, but I'm not super heavy. I'm not exactly like very light either. So I need to get myself like moving a bit more. I don't know. It's all in debate, but it's something that I'm looking to. It's something that I'm looking to go into. And obviously, if I do go into it, I'll be documenting it on my YouTube channel.
Of course, you got to get that bread. Yeah, I think the whole like weight thing is something that is the main reason why more YouTubers can't fight, because with like normal fighting, with like average people going up through the amateurs, there's so many people that you can easily get matched with someone with a weight. Whereas, like, with JJ and Logan, they're not a perfect physical match. Like, they never really should have gone in there in the first place. But because of the ego, they kind of just let it happen because of, like, the whole, like, the social side of it. So I think the whole weight is the main reason why more fights can't happen.
Logan cut down before the fight, and obviously, like, they dehydrate themselves on the day. But, like, apparently, I've heard that when Logan's, like, living normally, like, Logan's normal natural weight is, like, 210 pounds, which is like,
I was going to say, like he was what, like 199 in the fight?
No, so he was like pretty much 90 kilos on the dot during the fight, but his normal weight that he walks around is like 95. He's huge.
It was very scary for JJ. Like, I'll be the first person to say I thought Logan was going to win the rematch. Same.
So I thought he was going to absolutely lamp him.
I was so scared for JJ. Like, I remember watching it 4 or 5 in the morning in my house. I literally remember practically covering my eyes when they were walking out. I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep that whole night. I literally stayed up all like. So did I. I stayed up and watched the entire card. But when it actually came to it, I remember I was texting some people on this group chat that was going off, and we were all so scared because deep down we all sort of know, like, if JJ gets caught here, JJ is fucked. But he pulled it off. Like, it was incredible. That fight was, in a weird way, as someone who's a fan of pro fights, that fight was one of my favourite fights that I've ever watched because of the emotional 100%. Investment in it.
100%. Like, it was so awesome, like, especially when he got the win and like the celebration stuff was
from the United Kingdom. That moment.
I feel like most of this podcast has been like half boxing related, but I'm totally cool with that. Like, I'm a big fan, and hopefully some boxing fans will be watching this as well.
Hopefully, yeah. No, I chat about boxing quite a lot on some of my live streams, so yeah.
Well, no, it's like that's cool, and like I think a lot more, obviously, like because of all this YouTube stuff, a lot more people are into it now, which is
definitely.
Is
I mean, I was hardly into boxing before YouTubers did it. Like I remember, I went to KSI with Joe Weller back in the day, and I'd hardly ever watched boxing in my life. Like I'd watched like the big fights, like when like AJ v Klitschko happened and stuff. Obviously, I watched it because everyone watched it.
We've got to watch. We
all remember when AJ v Klitschko happened, like fully.
But
what a fight! But yeah, like I remember going to KSI with Joe Weller, not really knowing much about boxing at all. But then from that and like the energy that came from it, I was like, this is sick. So then I came home and I started watching more fights.
Like this is definitely gonna be something that gets bigger. But no, it's like the reason why I'm looking into it obviously just for like it's not that I have anything. It's not that I have anything to prove. It's just that it's enjoyable. It's a new challenge. I'm always up for new challenges. Obviously, I'm in this stage now where I'm trying to think about like what to do with my YouTube channel, where to take it next. Yes. I just want to try. I just want to try different things. I know Owen said this as well, and literally the amount of things Owen says that I can back, like Owen's mentality is sick.
He has YouTube on lock in a way that in most of my I love all of the people that I've met on YouTube. I love them to pieces. They're so great, but 100%. I like especially like kind of resonate with Owen in the way that his mindset really behind YouTube. I really get. Yeah,
no, I really like him. I mean, I only met him. I've only met him once.
Met him at VidCon,
at VidCon when he was with you guys, and he was sound then, but like, I knew who he was, but like I didn't know him well. I mean, we spoke and like he was sound and stuff, but then I went. Because obviously I featured in that video where I smacked your head.
Yeah.
So when I got home, I remember when he uploaded that video, I checked it out. I followed him on Twitter, and then I checked out some more of his videos. And I watched one, then I watched another, then I watched another, then I carried on watching. I was like, he's sick.
He's very, in my opinion, like of people that are sort of like our level of YouTube. Like I'd put like me, you, Owen, people like that. I'd put us all kind of in like a similar tier on YouTube. But like, I'd say he stands out of someone who is like truly motivated to like get big on YouTube, and I think he can do it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people missed. A lot of people like I thought obviously because I quit YouTube for 2 years, like 2020 August 2017 to June 2019. I was doing sick form. It's just because I used to make all those like relatable videos back in the day.
And you wanted to reform,
I wanted to reform, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I've kept some of them up on my channel that I do like, but then there's plenty that there's so many videos I've privated. But
fair enough,
it just wasn't the same, and I think that's why. My views are substantially less. Like it's unreal. Like my views are like 75% lower than they would be if this was like 3 years ago. However, I'm so much happier making the content I am now. Like I don't care if less people watch it. Like I honestly making those relatable videos is driving me insane. And like throughout the whole of sixth form, I didn't make a video, but YouTube was always on my mind. I was always like, after my A levels, I will pick this up because I'll actually make stuff that I want to make, because it just doing all that stuff I didn't enjoy just put me off. And I think the reason I talked about this is because you were saying Owen's like motivation and like how he thinks is like on point.
Yeah.
But the reason I think a lot of people mistake, a lot of people from the school used to say this about me uploading. It was like a running joke kind of thing, but a lot of people mistake my not uploading for like simple laziness, which is not true. Because I'm not lazy.
I watched your videos back before you took that big break. I remember watching your sort of like relatable stuff back in the day when I was like, 100, 200 subs. You were maybe on like a couple thousand. I used to watch your videos. I used to think you were class. But then I remember you just sort of like, yeah, mate, I watched your videos a fair bit. I know that you didn't know who I was at the time. But I remember you sort of just randomly disappearing. And I kind of took it from the perspective of, oh, maybe he just didn't want to make videos anymore. If that's the case, fair enough.
It wasn't that. But like, I still love you. Like literally every day of sick form, from when because I didn't make a single video. The first video I made back was literally, it was like 3 days after my last A level exam last summer. But literally every day at sick form, all I thought about was YouTube. Like YouTube, my channel was just always on the back of my mind. And every now and again, I'd go on my YouTube studio, and like my videos would still, like I was still getting like. Even when I wasn't uploading, for the first couple of months of year 12, I was getting like 1,000 views a month because people were still stumbling across my videos. But later on, like my videos.
It doesn't take very long for it to dip at all in the time that you're not uploading.
I was still getting views. I was still getting like a few hundred views a month though from people stumbling across my channel. It's just the subs weren't and then when I started uploading again, I remember my first video back in June, there was loads of viewers actually that stayed, and they were like, "Oh, this is sick! Can't wait for you to upload again." But then the subs took a huge dip, like a massive. I think I dropped like 100 in a day because I think, but I can't. I'm not surprised though. Yeah, it was always in the back of my mind, and I just wanted to do it for fun because I was trying to make it. Those relatable videos. They just weren't me. Like everyone that knew me at school and stuff, they were like this. It wasn't like I was being fake. It's just like
it didn't really feel like you had your heart in it anymore, and I think that's very important on YouTube to be making videos that your heart's really in. I think.
Whereas now I make different stuff, but like I enjoy it, and maybe I do only come out with like 1 or 2 videos a month, but like it's because I've actually like, if I spend time thinking about an idea and I'm really in love with that idea, then when I make it, it'll just be so much better. If I have an idea that's like half written, or if I'm not feeling the idea, I just can't do it. I have to be in something. It's not because I'm unmotivated or because I'm lazy.
It's just because you really like sort of pride yourself on your work and you want your work to be the best it can be. Yeah,
exactly. Whereas someone like Owen's already sort of got that on lock, so that's why he's consistently making really good videos, because he knows what his style is. He knows what he's doing. And credit to him. And I said this to Owen the other day. I was like I obviously like if JJ was to. If I was to get in the top 3 or the top 1, which wouldn't happen for this popping challenge,
I completely forgot to ask about that. But that is the thing.
I would be so gassed if my rap won that. But like, I would be. I said this. I think I said this to Owen, but if I don't, this will be the first time he hears it. So yeah, he's gonna be thankful for this. I genuinely want him to win it more. Like,
do you actually?
I can say that with my chest. Like this would mean stupid amounts to me, like absolutely stupid amounts to me. But like, I can see Owen winning. It would mean more to him. It would mean a lot to me, but it would mean like ridiculous amounts to him. Because the thing is, what would get me the most gas is I just want to appear in the video. That's all I want to do. Like if I appeared in the video, I would watch the video, be like, oh my god, I'm gassed. I'm in a KSL video, and that's it. I'd be so happy with just that. But like, I feel like. I'd be gassed. I want it, but the thing is, I haven't really thought about it because I know that number 1 spot is literally just out of the question. I'm not a chance of I getting that.
Yeah, not a chance. Just for any listeners who maybe aren't as much in the loop with all of this stuff going on. Recently, of course, JJ's dropped a new song called Poppin'. He's released a challenge saying that if anyone can freestyle to the beat of Poppin', there's a chance that they'll feature in his video and potentially even feature in his album. So recently Owen applied to it. I forgot to ask him about it. Tom applied to it. Forgot to ask him about it. But so I think that both you and Owen have a solid chance of getting in, which is sick. That two of the people who I know well on YouTube like have a chance.
No, I appreciate that. And like me and like whilst we were preparing our verses, me and Owen were actually like we were talking to each other on Twitter. Because I sent him the link to it, and I was like, "Yo, this could actually be like, well, I'm gonna give this a shot, but like, you can rap. This could be your shot." I sent it to him, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get to it." And then he was up all night doing that. I was up for most of the night writing my verse as well. The reason I didn't record it till so late in the next day because Owen stayed up. Then he filmed it and uploaded it. Mate, I went to sleep. I woke up at like midday. Yeah. So I stayed up all night doing it. I woke up at like midday and I was like, okay, I'll go and film this now. But I remember we were talking and I was like, oh, your verse is sick. And he was like, oh, when are you uploading yours? I was like, oh, I'm not too confident on this. He was like, no, do it. It'll be sick. Blah, blah. So like, fair play to him. Like, he's such a sports.
He's a very driven guy in the way that he gets stuff done quickly. Yeah.
No, but he's a good sport though. Like he's like, he'd never be like, oh, for fuck's sake, all my friends are entering this competition. Damn it, I'm not going to win. He'd be like, he was probably encouraging me. He was like, nah, this verse is sick. Like push it, upload it here, blah blah blah. So props to him for that. But it's
fair enough.
We'll see. Anyway, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this final question. I'm ready.
Best of luck to both of you. Obviously, since you are into boxing, obviously you're
here we go.
Here
we
ring.
Go again.
Yeah, but fairly into boxing. Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury? Who do you see winning in this fight that might not even happen?
That is a banging question.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a difficult fight to watch.
Yes.
I'm a bigger fan of AJ. I'm a huge AJ fan. But Fury's relentless.
Fury is unreal. He fights in a way that I don't think anyone in history's ever fought. I don't think he's the best in history. I think someone like Muhammad Ali would still beat him, in my opinion, at the prime. But he's just Fury's a weird fighter in the way that he does things that shouldn't be possible for his build.
Yeah, so it's a tough one. I think AJ's a very good athlete. I think AJ's conditioning is on point, and he will bring the heat. Like he will fight. He'll be very technical. He'll suss out what you're doing. He'll use his IQ, and he'll be sick. But Fury is going to bring him absolute hell, and whether he can take that, I think he's going to give it his best shot, but he's going to have to go for absolute hell if he's going to want to beat Tyson Fury.
I think it fully depends on which AJ we see turning up, because Fury, we've seen that Fury's versatile. We've seen that Fury can fight on the back foot. We've seen him fight on the front foot to destroy Deontay Wilder. I think it depends which AJ we see, because
that was a banging fight. That was
an incredible fight.
I was sick, man.
I was gassed. Like, have you seen the canvas? Yeah. Like,
have you seen the clip? Have you seen the clip where after they throw the towel in, Wilder speaks to it. He goes to the side and Fury's celebrating. He goes to the side and you can see him mouthing to his coach like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah, it's like he was getting beat up.
I was like, literally, he was smacking you in the head. Like anything more, you would have got. That's the thing.
Knocked out. He would have been. Wilder would have been badly knocked out.
People get annoyed when you. Yeah, they get annoyed when you throw the towel in. But like, bro, you could have died. Like Tyson Fury, that 120 kilo man throwing punches into your temple, mate. Yeah. You're lucky he threw the towel in. He saved you.
It's a scary idea that Wilder's getting in there again. I think he's mental to get in there again. If I was Wilder, I'd say, fair dues, mate. You've essentially beaten me twice. First time was a draw, but like
Wilder's a very good boxer. It's just Fury, mate. I think Wilder would just. There's plenty of people Wilder would absolutely like wreck.
Oh.
But Fury's not one of them.
Wilder's still up there. In my opinion, Wilder would beat Andy Ruiz. I think Wilder would knock Andy Ruiz out. I think
Andrew Ruiz has had his like. I think about Andy Ruiz that I feel like he's had one of the most incredible moments in boxing history, and I feel like he's like
he put on a lot of weight before that second AJ fight. Yeah. I think he threw that one away. I think he was sort of like, well, I've bought my mansions now, I've bought my fancy cars now, I've done everything that I wanted to do with the money that I got from beating AJ. I'm fine to just lose the belts now, because he had that period of time when he was champion. I think that was all he was looking for, if I'm honest. Maybe. But anyway, back to the question. I think that if we see the AJ that turned up against Ruiz the second time, this sort of like clever boxing, jab move type AJ, he could beat Tyson Fury. And I stand by that he could. If we see the AJ that turned up the first time against Ruiz, Fury could easily get on the front foot and potentially stop AJ. So that's the thing. It's such an unpredictable fight. But
well, we'll believe that, because we've done a lot of boxing chat today. So
yeah, we've chat and we've gone on quite a long time. So I feel like this is probably a good time to end this one.
Yeah, man. It's been good. I'm just not like this. This isn't my normal setup. This isn't what I do. This isn't what I do.
You've done well considering.
I think so. I mean, I've thought about everything I've said, because I'm like, God, should I have said that better? Should I have said this? So anyone that's watching this, I try my best to come across well. But if I don't know, I always have some weird fear in my head that when I'm like talking live or something, people are going to think that I'm a dick. But I haven't said anything bad.
I have that all the time. Mate, every live stream I do, I'm always thinking like, am I coming across as a nice guy here or am I not? Like every single time. Like it's whatever.
Anyway, look, audience, I try. And if you go to my channel, if you're new, then you will find videos where I've actually thought through what I'm saying somewhat. So yeah. And no, but it was cool. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming on. I do appreciate that. All right. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I will see you a lot next time. All right. Thanks for your time.